Hey guys, Kev here, and I wanted to show you two knives from dudes in the community that I respect the hell out of, and I really hope succeed. Both of them have flourishing brands and are really cool designers. One with the more EDC kind of aspect, and one with the more tactical kind of aspect. Both very cool. And yeah, so let's talk about them. The first one is from New Breed EDC, which is Mark Perez, Loot 10 Tex, or Texas. Great dude and great designer. He's been knocking it out with licensed designs with Kaiser and Kubi. And actually, I'm carrying a Kubi model from him. This is the Hydra. And it's absolutely gorgeous. As you can see here, it's got his little maker's mark there. Beautiful pattern on the titanium. Let's actually just start off talking about this Hydra. Let me make sure I got that right and it's not Hydro. And of course, in classic Chinese fashion, they do not put the name of the knife on there. But it's M390 in titanium, made in China, Kubi KB323A in gray. I will put a link in the description. You guys can always try using my discount code, and that will be down in the description as well. Sometimes the codes will get you 6% off, sometimes 20%, but I'll have it in the description so you guys can see it there. I can't always remember it. It's not like Lefty 10, like usual, it's like LY20LT or something like that. But yeah, this thing is gorgeous, isn't it? I love the size. It's a smaller size knife. Excellent ergonomics. Got a flipper tab that is excellently designed, jimped. Detent is perfectly executed by Kubi. They absolutely destroy detents. I suck at thumb flicking frame locks because I always get on the lock bar. But look at that milling. Isn't that gorgeous? Relief cuts there are nice. Clip is good. Nice hole there for reverse flicking and thumb flicking. Nice blade. A little bit thicker than I guess I would prefer. A hollow grind would be awesome, but a lot of these OEMs don't do hollow grinds on their own knives, which is interesting. But I did cut some cardboard with it today, and it did a great job. So, yeah, that is, I believe, the Hydra. And I'll put a link down below, and I believe I'm going to be passing this one around. So if you guys are interested, check out the other channels. And yeah. So the one I really wanted to talk about is the Wingspan. So this is Mark's new design under his own brand, New Breed EDC. And this is going to be a pre-order. So he's dropping the pre-order on Monday, the 16th, which is why I wanted to get this video up on Monday, the 16th. So you guys can see it before that goes up or when that goes up. As far as I know, there's two versions. The other one has like a normal weave carbon fiber here or some kind of marbled carbon. It looks cool, but basically a black carbon. I can't remember the blade finish on that one. It might be blacked out. I'm not sure. But look at this clip. It's got this beautiful inlay of the handle material there. And I've been seeing more of these clips where they have a hole in them to get to the screw so it can be deep carry. Pretty cool to see that. And then you have this sort of overlay, which I believe is going to be changed to an inlay in production because he was worried about this part right here, the edge being a little sharp. So he is just going to change it to an inlay to be safe. And you have a sort of sheep's footy, nest mucky. He's calling it a drop muck blade. I like it. You have a long pull Fuller style in there, slot, whatever you want to call it. Belt satin on this. Prototype is, of course, D2. I don't know if it's down here or if he has it somewhere else or if he's not going to label it. I don't know. But the production version is going to be S35VN, which I think is an interesting choice using Kubi because of their price range. I usually just skip over S35 with them, but I think it's cool that he's doing it. Good steel. This is nice and thin, nice grind because it's a tall enough blade, and this is actually going to be hollow ground in production, so it's going to be even thinner, be really slicey. I mean, imagine that tip if the hollow grind came up to here and then went out. We'll see if Kubi can pull that off because that essentially is a full height hollow. That never seen them do that, but hopefully they can. What I'm guessing would happen is this grind, this plunge grind, whatever you call this line right here, is going to end up coming down somehow so that they can accommodate for the hollow grind. But we'll see. Choked up grip is really comfortable. The jimping right there is money. Feels great in the hand. I have a large glove size hand. You can see I have plenty of room there, so you can choke back, you can choke forward. If you have an XL hand, I think you'll be fine on this. You can thumb flick this slot pretty well, but Mark did say, it's on this paper I have right here actually. This has all the specs if you want to pause and read. And there are changes that we're going to talk about in a second. Now, the pre-order is today, the 16th, and it's starting at $145. So for $145, you can get S35VN and a titanium subframe lock, I guess you would call it. So this is actually titanium in here, the liner and everything, the frame lock, whatever it is. And if this is going to become an inlay, then I guess it would become a frame lock or a subframe lock. And he's got a steel insert in there, which is really cool. I don't think I've seen Kubi do a titanium. Man, it's not a liner lock, I guess, but it essentially is, and it's nice and it's pretty thin. So I like that. It's good to know that Kubi can do that. Really interesting wheel flipper. Obviously, your jimping is going to be all the way around, so you can get a grip on it. You can do the reach around. Now the D10 on this example is on the stronger side. It's basically perfect. But you do need to give it, a little bit of oomph to get that reach around going, but it works. The front flip is nice. I believe you can do the, you can do the rollback move. So you got all the moves there. And then the reverse flick is money. You can get into that slot, no problem, and fire it. And I can thumb flick it as well. So very cool. I love that. The action is good. It wants to swing down, which is cool. It does take 5mm 3/64 bearings. I'll show you. I actually took it apart and swapped them out with skiffs because this is something I told Mark, and I think he's going to ask Kubi if they can change the bearings to the larger size, 5mm 1/16. Because if you look at these bearings, there's just a huge space in between each bearing. So you only end up with 9 bearings on this. Well, the skiffs have 15. So you end up with 30 bearings in here, tightly spaced together, which is a lot better for your action, instead of 18 all spread out. But with the 5mm 1/16, you really kind of get rid of that issue, and it makes it way less of a necessity to put skiffs in there. Not that everybody needs or wants to put skiffs in there, but whenever I see this size bearing, I always skiff them up for that reason. So I don't know if he'll change that, but it was definitely something we talked about and something I wanted to note. It is absolutely a sexy knife. I mean, look at that milling. He kills it, man. His design work is just gorgeous. I mean, again, here's the Hydra. And then I have this is modded, but this is his first design. The Clydesdale. Now, this had a little bit of a cleavery thing going on up here, but this was gifted to me by Backpack B. He did a regrind on it, but you can just see really cool design language. I love what he's doing. So, yeah. The changes. So you have the slot. He wants to make it bigger. So I think he wants to bring this slot down to where that grind line is right there. Make it a little bigger. I think easier to thumb flick. Might be hard for some people. I actually like it the way it is, but I don't think I'd complain about it. Let's see, what else did he have? He might ask to strengthen the detent a touch. This one's perfect, so I think it might just be the other prototypes that needed a little bit of a tweak. And then he was talking about making this an inlay versus the onlay. And I think that's it. So it's $145 on the pre-order. Starts today, and it'll stay open till November. And then the pre-order will stop. And they will be open again at some point for $150. And it's 4 to 5 months for production. And it might be sooner. I've heard some people are having Kubi complete knives in like 2 months, which is crazy. Usually always takes us 4 or 5 months. 6, it's probably like 4 or 5. But we order a lot of stuff from them, so it's probably why, because we have so much going on. But that is the Wingspan. Absolutely excellent design, and I'm really excited for it. So check it out. Check out the pre-order. I'll put a link down below to it. And this is, I don't know where this is going next. I'll have to ask Mark. But thank you, Mark. Really appreciate you letting me give you feedback on that and show it off. Now, this is the Ceto from DC Blades. And this is Tier 1 Gear and EDC Reviews knife company with Old Squirrel knives. So you have a knife maker, and then you have a YouTuber slash knife designer, and they came together and started this company. I've reviewed some of their stuff in the past. Like, I think I actually reviewed the prototype of this. I know I did. I've reviewed the Scythe, or I always say Scythe, but isn't it Scythe? I don't know, whatever. And there's a Scythe XL that I'm waiting to check out. And yeah, they have a really tactical kind of vibe to them. This is, to me, like a mini Bowie. It's just really sexy. Mini Bowie style. Actually, I have a budget knife in right now that I think would be interesting. Let me just... This is from a company called Molsec. I think it's a newer budget brand, but check this out. Just wanted to show you, because this is like a full-size Bowie folder. And imagine if you took this and kind of scrunched it down. What would you get? You get this. So I think that's pretty cool. Just so you guys can see that. I love the inlay up around the pivot. I was actually talking to Mark from New Breed, because he's doing CAD work for Colin and I at Divo Knives. He offers CAD services for people, and we're having him tweak some of our designs that we've done in the past, and then we're trying to move those over to Riot to kind of hopefully get our more premium knives made at Riot. And we figured we might as well, you know, update stuff a little bit. And one of the things I was thinking about was on the Pony Stout, which is a small version of this knife. First, I wanted to just shrink this down to make this the pony size, but keep it with the bolster and the inlay and everything. But then I was thinking maybe it'd be cool to do a inlay around the pivot instead, because I've seen that a few times and I thought it was cool. And I was trying to find an example so I could show Mark and Colin what my idea was. And I couldn't find one, and then I thought of an example, the Berg Blades Tick. And then 2 minutes later, I picked this up off my table, and I was like, oh shit, I had something on the table that whole time with it. So I don't know if this sparked that inspiration or where it came from, but it has this really cool inlay around the pivot. Now, this is OEM'd by Migaron, which is cool because they're one of the first brands that I know of that are, you know, working with Migaron as an OEM, which is really cool. And they do great work. I mean, I love the finish on this titanium. This is a dark blast style finish, but it's got like a polish on it. I mean, look at that. So this is a bead blast with a similar pattern on it. But look how dark that is. It's absolutely stunning, in my opinion. And then you have this nice weave carbon fiber around that. And this is a perfect transition. I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, there's two things that I would nitpick on this knife. Now, one of them is I don't love the pivot. I wish it was plain. This is something we struggled with as well with Divo. I just don't like lasered pivots. I don't like lasered pivot logos because it's lasered. It just doesn't look as clean to me, especially on a premium knife like this. So I would love for that to either be milled in or just be sterile, just black would, I think, look the best. But, you know, it's not a big deal. It's just one little nitpick. And then the other one is the detent is very late. So if you disengage the knife, you have to come down to here before it starts to clear, right? I think, is there a ramp? I think there's a detent ramp as well. You see a little notch that usually indicates a detent ramp. So I don't know exactly where it clears, but what I notice is if I go like this to close it, it hits me right here at the flipper tab, and then I'm on the detent. Now, because it has the ramp, you can throw it past. So once I learned that it did that, it was easy enough to get past it. I just am a stickler for a late detent and a detent ramp, really. I don't like detent ramps. Now, this is one implementation where I think it was necessary and it was implemented properly, because if you clear it, if you go like this, I'm not clear of the detent, but I can shake past it easily. So most times with the detent ramps, I end up doing this and I just double clutch it. But with this one, I do tend to usually get past it in the end. So it's done well. I just don't love detent ramps or later detents. And most of it's because I'm left-handed. So left-handed, you have to come really far to clear through, right? I have to go farther than that. And with the flipper tab there, it's almost impossible. So you have to kind of back off of it, close it like that, and then swing it down. You can see the action is incredible. And I tend to just do that a lot, double clutch it left-handed. It's probably not, I mean, it really isn't as much of an issue right-handed. It seems to clear a little bit better. And I think it's just because I'm leaning this way when I do it. I'm never leaning back, where lefty, I'm leaning back. So it has, because the knife is so smooth, it has that ability to kind of kick back. So those are my two nitpicks. Neither of them, I think, are a big deal or a deal breaker in any way. Perfectly centered. The clip is beautiful. I love the clip. It works great lefty to reverse flick it. I really like this knife. This one has a blue pivot collar, which looks sick. And that dark titanium just gives me butterflies. I love it. I'm in love with this. It has a hollow ground blade, belt satin finish with horizontal flat, compound ground buoy blade. I mean, this thing is absolutely, it's a beast, dude. I love it. I love it. It's got that little bit of like a curve up in the blade. Oh, man. The more I handle it and the more I look at it, the more I like this knife. So, if that tells you anything. I do think a stronger detent in general would probably be nicer. I've handled a few of these now, and they're all pretty evenly done. They're kind of medium-ish. If you hit that flipper tab, it fires. Now, it's a big tab, so you can probably fail it if you try. No. But I think if it was a little stronger because of the big tab, I would like it better. But obviously, they were making sure the reverse flick was easy enough. And I can flick it from anywhere, and it's firing. So they definitely nailed that. And the flipper is satisfying. So, you know, I take that back. It's perfect. This one's perfect. You hear that? Man. Yeah, what a sweet knife. So this is the Ceto, and these are available now. They are available now. I'll show you the website. I wanted to show you both websites. So here's the DC Blades website. They have the Scythe XL on Amazon. And then you have the Ceto available for immediate purchase. And these are $225, guys. $225, I believe it's M390 steel. Yep, M390. Migaron OEM. We can check the, see if they have the HRC on here or whatever. So I know they have micarta inlays. So blade, you have belt satin or black DLC. They are calling it DLC, so that's cool. So I guess it is true DLC. You could pick your pivot collar color. That's pretty cool. Normally you can't just choose your pivot collar color. And then you have an inlay of black micarta or twill. That's really cool that you have options like that. $225 is a hell of a deal, I think, for what you're getting here. 120 total units are available on a first come, first serve basis. They're in stock and available now. And here is your blade material. It doesn't look like they're giving an HRC range. So if you know the Migaron HRC range, then that's what it is. I have no idea. And there's all your specs if you would like that information. So check that out, dcblades.net. I'll link it down below. Great company, great dudes. And then here's the New Breed website. Here's the Wingspan. And this is the other version. It is blacked out. So you have a black wash blade with a weave carbon fiber and a blue backstrap or frame, whatever you want to call it. That one's sexy too. They're both sexy. And you could switch the blade. I mean, it would look sick either way. Specs on that one. And again, that one's $145 on the pre-order. So really nice. Both of them. And I really like both guys, you know. So, you know, definitely check them out on Instagram. New Breed EDC, Loot 10 Tex or TX. And then DC Blades, Tier 1, and Old Squirrel Knives. And then this is the Kubi again. Also, excellent. Wow. Some really good knives have come through, guys. I'm very impressed. So that's it. Let me know what you think down below. I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.